everybody. I hope everyone's having a good morning so far. We are going to talk about parenting, and we're going to have a heart-to-heart. So if you don't want to hear about parenting, click out. Yesterday was a really hard day for me, and I was super stressed out. I had a lot of stuff that I had to get done yesterday, and we ended up going to the Silverdale waterfront and playing at the park. And for those of you who do know, transitions are very, very challenging for Lucas, and we're working on it, and he's getting a lot better, but it's still really hard. And so that was like hour and a half, 2 hour chunk that we just stopped, and we went with my aunts and Taylor. We went to Silverdale waterfront, and it was added extra stress and crazy because there's homecoming this weekend and homecoming next weekend, and so all of the high schoolers and some junior high students were swarmed at the waterfront, and there's all these families there and all these children there, and it was nuts. But I knew it was going to be a fight. I knew it was going to be a struggle. And so I just put my big girl panties on, and a lot of people will have their opinions and what you should have done and how you could have handled it better and blah, blah, blah. What say you? And so before we even left the house, it was a fight. It was an argument. And I know a lot of people would just be like, well, if he's going to act like that, then don't take him. I'm not going to stop my son from having a good time and good experiences because he's having a hard moment. That doesn't even make any sense. Like, I'm sorry you had a rough day, so you don't get to do anything for the rest of the day. No, that's not how life works. That's not how adults are treated. Why would we treat our children that way? It doesn't work like that, and it's not healthy. And so we had a moment before we left, a long moment, a big, massive blow up, and we still went, and he had a great time. And when we were getting ready to leave, walking back from the park to the table, there was a comment on how well he was doing and how good he was listening and all of that kind of stuff. And what happened was he was doing what he was asked to do, was walking over to the table, and he was stopped to be praised and commented on, like, hey buddy, you're doing a really great job, I'm so proud of you, you've been such a good listener, you've been doing so well. And that moment for him was a trigger, regardless of if it was for praise or for a conversation or to stop him to talk. That was a trigger for him because he was so dead set on doing the task at hand that his attention on what he was supposed to be doing was interrupted, and that was really hard for him. And so, massive meltdown in the middle of the waterfront, well, like the park area of the waterfront, and he threw himself on the floor and like started hollering and crying uncontrollably, and he was so beside himself upset. And again, I know a lot of parents would very like sternly either grab them by the arm, take them to the bathroom, not even acknowledge what this kid is going through, or stop crying, stop whining, like, and that doesn't help. It doesn't do anything. It's not productive. And here we are standing in the middle of the park at the waterfront, and I am on the floor with him, crouched over at his level, calmly, assertively, but calmly speaking with him. Not to him, with him. And everyone's looking. And that used to bug me. I'm not gonna lie. It used to really upset me. But it gets to a point where you literally just have to not care. And that's hard. Because you don't want to be looked at as a bad mom or a bad parent, or someone's going to judge your parenting and whatnot. But you, as an adult, when you are escalated, you cannot de-escalate an escalated child. You have to be calm, cool, level, and okay before you try to help a child. Because if you're not, it's a power struggle. And I really don't love that word, because that word has been brought up a lot over the past couple years in my life. It's a power struggle, and it's not even a power struggle of like who is in charge. Like, people think about children who throw fits, tantrums, whatever, and they are not always trying to be in control. They're not trying to be in charge. You have to meet children with compassion in those moments where they're having a complete mental breakdown. It's not to get attention. We're in the middle of a park. He's crying uncontrollably, cannot control himself. He's got snot running down his face, tears pooling on the material, the squishy material on the concrete. And I just looked up at Aunt Sharon and I was like, we gotta figure this out, buddy. And so we started talking, and at first he wasn't talking because he was upset, and that was apparent. He made it very clear that he was upset, and in that moment it didn't make sense to him why somebody would stop him from doing what he was supposed to be doing if that's what he was asked to do, regardless of the reason. And there's a lot more that goes into that, as far as like the challenges that we're working through and stuff that we're dealing with doctors and stuff. But without knowing all of that, he really just wanted to walk to the table. And we had stopped to explain to him how well he was doing. And so at that point where he had that breakdown, he was on the floor. He was hollering, screaming, crying, could not like control himself. And I just met him with compassion and love and understanding, but like understanding after we're talking about it together and working through it. And there's no reason for you to yell at your child. There's no reason. That doesn't do anything. It just escalates things further. Sure, like yelling to get their attention in an unsafe situation, that's understandable. But there's no need. You don't have to yell at your children to help, one, them understand, two, help them to work through something, or to get them to listen. You don't listen when you're getting yelled at, so why would your child listen when they're getting yelled at? It's just, to me, it's very much common sense. And that's not downing on anybody. It just, I don't know. Tell me the last time that you yelled at a child and it turned it out good, or exactly how you wanted it to, without there being an issue, an argument, or a fight. It doesn't happen. Children cannot process when they are in that state of mind. And with children specifically, Actually, with everybody, when you're in that moment, you're in straight fight or flight. So you can't even talk to a child and talk to them about what had happened or the issue or the problem at hand if they are escalated. They're not going to be able to discuss it with you because they're not mentally there. They're not okay. All they're worried about, all their body is worried about is, oh, I'm in fight mode. I got to get out of this. I don't like this feeling. And so you have to be regulated in order to help them regulate in a healthy manner. But what I was going to say is just that story alone was an example, and that was very long. But what I was going to say, as a parent, you have rough times, you have hard days, you have days where you struggle, where you just want to go back to bed, but you can't. When you wake up in the morning, it is go, 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 go. You are on scene. You are jobbing. You are a mom. You are a dad. And until that child goes to bed, even after, sometimes you just feel like crap. Sometimes you just hear people say things and you just question everything about yourself as a parent. And it's taken me 5 years. 5 years. Almost. Lucas turns 5 in December. So a little under 5 years to get to a point in my life where I don't care. I don't care what anybody has to say about me, about my choices, about my parenting. I am doing every single thing that I can do for Lucas. Everything. And when I feel like I have nothing left to give and something else happens, I still go. I still get up. I still support. I still take him. I still do all of these things with him. And so when I was in the mindset of, oh, let me listen to other people's problems, or let me just take this person's advice. And advice is great. Venting is amazing. It's awesome. It helps you feel better. It helps you get it out. And it helps you regulate yourself by talking to somebody else. However, every time you talk to an external person, and I'm not saying don't talk to people. I'm all about talking. I'm all about communication. I believe therapy is for everybody. Everybody should have a therapist. Everyone should have a best friend that they can tell everything to, talk things through, family, whatever. But every external person that you speak to is going to have an opinion or concerns or questions or their own thoughts and feelings on what you are doing. So you need to make it very clear if you are trying to have a conversation about it, if you are just venting, or if you are asking for their thoughts, feelings, opinions, or for advice. Because if you're not, you need to clarify. The worst thing that you could do for yourself as a parent is take your parenting journey, put it on someone else, reflect that outward, and then just soak up every single thing that everyone's saying, because that is so damaging for you. And it has taken me almost 5 years. So there is light at the end of the tunnel, but almost 5 years to not care what anybody has to say. And I knew before that I was doing what I should have been doing, and that I was an amazing mom, and I was a great mom. But I would always question myself because the outside noise around me was so loud all of the time that I didn't believe in myself as a parent. Like I did, but I questioned myself every single day, all day long. And that's not good, and it's not healthy, and it's very harmful for your mental health. So just know, as one parent to another parent, it does get better. It will get better. And it's a lot easier said than done, and it takes a lot of work in a lot of situations. But the sooner you can stop caring about what other people think, feel, or have to say about your parenting, better it's going to be for you. I hope everyone's having a good day, and I will check in soon.